Hi folks, this is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I'm simulcasting on Rumble and YouTube, and I want to thank everybody who's shown up for live stream tonight, and everybody who's watching on Rumble and watches the video after the live stream. So yeah, a thumbs up would be appreciated, and I always play some videos while we wait for people to get into the chats. We got a lot to talk about tonight. We got judges continuing with their little games. And it's going to come to a head at the Supreme Court, right?
Criminals off the street. And this will be one of the greatest mistakes in history for them to allow. And I think they probably did it because they think they're going to get votes. But it's not worth it because they're destroying the fabric of our country by what they've done. There's never been anything done like this at all. They've destroyed the fabric of our country. Millions of people let in, and all over the world, crime is down all over the world except here. Crime here is up and through the roof. Despite their fraudulent statements that they made, crime in this country is through the roof. And we have a new form of crime. It's called migrant crime, and it's happening at levels that nobody thought possible.
That it is Barack Obama who corrupts the Justice Department. It is Hillary Clinton who routinely breaks the law and gets away with it. And now we have Joe Biden who's learned. He's learned from Obama that doesn't matter what you do, if you're a liberal Democrat, you will not be prosecuted. He learned from Hillary that a person in high public office can get millions and millions of dollars. And they learned from watching Donald Trump that a true outsider willing to take on the entire system could destroy their entire machine. So what you're seeing across the country is a desperate last-ditch effort by a corrupt machine to destroy their most dangerous opponent in a way which not only breaks the Constitution, destroys the rule of law, and establishes a moment of bitterness which I think will last for a generation or more. I think this is going to be a horrendous period, and we just need to understand the people who want to control America and dictate to the rest of us will break any law, lie about any topic, and manipulate the system any way they can, and that includes a lot of the elite news media.
How much money went from USAID to the work at Wuhan and to their collaborator, Ralph Barrett, at the University of North Carolina, to collect and make coronaviruses that are weaponized, that are more deadly?
So I, first of all, reject the implicit accusation in that question, and I do not have at my finger. I do not have at my fingertips the particular details of USAID.
Are you saying for certain? Are you saying for certain that no USAID money went to the Wuhan Institute of Virology?
Go ahead.
No, please tell me. Are you stating that no USAID money went?
I am happy to take questions from those in this audience. I'm happy to answer them. I appreciate that they treat every person in this room, including myself, respectfully. I called on you. I'm now calling on someone else. Go ahead.
Irrespectfully, please tell me, what are you denying?
Go ahead,
What
please.
is your denial?
Go.
It's a non-denial denial.
Another day has passed. Do you
Well, actually, it was the night before the hearing.
now that another day has passed, do you believe that it's now time potentially for the FBI to open an investigation into this?
I'm not going to comment on that.
Because you're the director of the FBI, you don't believe it's appropriate to comment on that?
Because there's a process in place, there's an ongoing litigation, and the National Security Council is reviewing this matter. And I'm not going to discuss any open or closed investigation.
That ongoing investigation, literally, the lawsuit happened today or yesterday afternoon, and the idea that you don't have an opinion on this at this point is frustrating to me.
No, it's not.
My
I'm not
final
going to
question,
prejudge any
reclaiming my
matters,
time, my
and the men
final
and women of the
question,
FBI will call the balls and strikes.
Reclaiming my time,
not
sir.
you.
Sir, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to have...
Gentleman's recognized. You have
Thank
4
you.
seconds remaining.
No, I have more than
You have
that.
2
because
seconds
Mr.
remaining.
Patel would not add...
Gentleman's time is expired. Mr. Stubbe.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
And he's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
I think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn, and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he sees as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks. I hope you all are having a great evening. And it's nice to see everyone. Let me see who came in to see me. Ha ha. I see KNS Cleanup. Somebody at the top said, "Howdy, Mound Man," but I can't see the name. I'm sure I will see it again. I'm getting a little bit of shaky transmission, I believe. Andrew, how you doing? Darla, Robin, Todd's here. Ronald. I'm trying to see who that is at the top. Wayne's here. Give me thumbs up. Rebecca's here. Angel's here. KNS Cleanup. Nice to see you. Sherry's here. New Insight. Rubber Toe. Flannel Cheese. Miss Minder Sue. Melinda's here. Good to see you all. So, yeah, I got a lot of comment. Marie's here. All right. Pappy Two Bears. Nice to see you. Well, I think my transmission's a little shaky, so if you all could bear with me. You know, I was yesterday and today was getting having to reset my Truth Social and tough to get videos to play. And I noticed Frank over there on NPC show was having transmission problems with his Rumble and stuff like that. Hi, Gloria. Nice to see you. And anyway, so I'm hoping that doesn't mean anything. But if it is a little spotty, it is what it is, right? So we'll keep going. What the heck, you know? Got a lot of stuff that I had out that I didn't get to talk about last night. I got a video. Somebody, I'll play it towards the middle of the broadcast. But how did y'all like my, well, I don't know if some of you all might not have saw it when you came in. I'm going to put this, leave it up on the screen. Wait a second. There, no, not that one. Whoa. I want that back. Ha ha. I want to keep Mr. T in a corner, keeping an eye on everybody. So I've got to take this video down so y'all can see what I got up there. Boom. Oh, I got to put it up. We got a black screen. But I had at the beginning of the broadcast this right here. Instead of bashing Trump, why don't you post what you love about your Democrat Party? Well, they say Democratic, but Hardly that, is it, folks? Hardly that. Hi, Brush. How you doing? Belvita, nice to see you. Yeah. Nice to see you, folks. So, had a big bust today with MS-13 in Virginia, part of the DMV. What's the DMV? D.C., Maryland, Virginia. We learned that term from Fannie Willis. And Fannie Willis got caught following Apple Pie, what's his name, Wade around. And she's got to pay almost $60,000 and might be looking at getting apprehended if she doesn't show up for these Georgia State Senate hearings. Pretty wild. And there's a big election in Wisconsin. Mr. T has told us about. If you all live in Wisconsin, check, I've talked about him before, Red Eagle Politics. He's done a story on it. Judgeships are on the line, all kinds of stuff. You know, at least Stefanik has been pulled back from going to the UN to make sure we don't take sending off a solid Republican seat out of the House to the UN. So Trump wisely recalled her to stay. And I'm sure the unfortunate passing of Mia Love had a lot to do with that. But we got too much on the line to take any chances. Isn't that the truth? I didn't get to see Brett Baer interview the Doge people, but I heard it was a good interview. I had to get stuff ready to go up. And I'm looking forward to seeing that. But I got this thing here. Trump names first buddy and Doge leader Elon Musk to investigate Signal. Now, this news outfit called Clear Cut, I said, I'm not too sure about them. They popped up out of the ground, seems like to me. What do you see on the screen, right? Houthi PC small group. Is somebody giving a signal? That they, as I went over last night, I felt that Signal had been already infiltrated, right? You all remember my little conversation about that last night? And so here's a popped out of the ground news agency, at least in my feed, to put in their Houthi PC small group. And Doge is going to be getting into it. I got my theories. Hi, Todd. How you doing? Said vote Schimmel. Hi, Roland. Yeah, the internet's been a little glitchy. It has. It has. But anyway, I thought that was funny. A lot of little signals are getting around. I got a video on I won't play for y'all. And tell me what you think. You know, remember when bin Laden used to send videos out? They would analyze every little thing. Looking for clues and hints in the background, parse every word he said, look at his condition. You know, is his dialysis being done? Remember all that stuff, folks? What's the background, or what kind of mountains are they in the background? Then they start blacking out the background. I'm just giving you all a reminder of how intelligence works, right? You got to look at stuff and see what you see, can discern, and hear what you can hear for hints. But anyway, this is interesting phone call. And I said last night, I think Trump's done. Remember that? I said he did the woman's thing, and I said he's did this, did that, did this. I can't keep up, but I guess he's done for the night. It was, I don't know what time it was, kind of late, but apparently he did his interview, or very early today. I don't know. Tell me what you all think.
Right. The law firms are being gone after very much, and they virtually admit wrong position. But there's been a lot of cheating. People have never seen anything like it, and we have to stop it.
One of the law firms that you've been going after, Perkins Coie, which was responsible for contracting a guy called Christopher Steele to draw up a huge document of lies about you that led to all sorts of Trump-Russia collusion. Announced yesterday that you also are declassifying all of the documents from the Trump-Russia collusion hoax from what they call Crossfire Hurricane in the FBI. What do you think people are going to learn from those documents?
I think they're going to learn how corrupt the election was. It was a very corrupt election. You're talking about the second election, I assume. That was an election that I won. I won by a lot. And you're going to find that out. The documents are there. The numbers are there. We won that by a lot. Mm-hmm. We won 3 elections, and we did very well in the second one. Now, the third one, we blew it away. The third one, we said, too big to rig. And it was too big to rig. But that second election, it was the COVID nightmare, and a lot of that had to play. But that was a rigged election, totally rigged.
Well, the question was, what are they going to get out of Crossfire Hurricane documents? But what did you think of Trump's discussion? If you were an analyst, what would you say listening to him? Was anybody paying attention to his affect, his voice, But while you're cogitating on that, what he said was, what people will find out from the Crossfire Hurricane documents that have been declassified is that he won all 3 elections, and it's all in those documents. Hi, Shine. How you doing? Todd says, sounds like he has a cold. That's a good observation. His voice is, I thought, what I heard. Tell me what y'all think of my thoughts. Sounded to me like he was laying down, half asleep. Yeah, Melvita. Sounded like he was half asleep, laying in bed, and might have drifted off. They said, you got this interview here at a late night radio show or television or internet show. Here's the phone. Oh, thank you. Hey, that's what it sounded like to me. Did it sound like that to you all? Whoa. I'll put that up later. Did it sound like that to you all? I'm trying to find something. I don't know. He's been an actor Good actors make a good movie, right? Yeah, he did sound exhausted, wore out. But I'm going to put this post up because I forgot something when I was talking about it. I got to make sure I've got that post in here. Let me find it. Well, I might have to go out and get it. I'll be darned. In other words, what I'm saying is, he sounded sleepy. He sounded sleepy. Here it is. I'm out of the studio. I'm getting something I forgot or didn't have. Sounded sleepy. Dopey Freed. Dopey Freed. Remember I told you about the quantum computers named after the seven dwarfs? One of them was named Sleepy. He's saying all the Crossfire Hurricane documents are going to prove I won the election. All three. He's an actor. But remember, I read this post to you all last night, and I got down to 2020's coming. Clear vision, public release of info vital. That's Crossfire Hurricane. Releasing info would cause outrage, cries for justice. Well, the reason I pulled this post up was because I put the word signal in. And I didn't scroll farther. I was talking and kept my, didn't keep my train of thought. Here is the rest of this post. The stock market dropped that day, or a couple of days before this post. It dropped down 666, right? And it said, signal to POTUS they control the market. That was then, back in 2018. But then it says, signal, question mark, in all caps, threat, question mark, welcome to the global war. They're talking about the app Signal when it's in all caps in this post. And they are referring to the devil's number 666 as being a signal to Trump. They controlled the market when there was a huge drop in the market. Hi, Tennessee. So anyway, I don't think Trump was purposefully. I don't think Trump would have sounded that way if it wasn't for a reason. I mean, you've been on the phone before, and you know when you've been napping and somebody calls you, you clear your throat before you talk on the phone. You like that, and then you talk because you don't want to sound like you just got up. So anyway, it's weird, it's wild, but this part I didn't show last night. I just didn't scroll up enough. But this is another reference to Signal, and that is all they're beating the drum about. They won't let it go. Where is that clip? Here. Caitlin. She's supposed to be talking about the VA. Every administration person they get up, they don't stay on the topic of the person that is handling, like in this case, Doug Collins is handling the VA. She automatically takes it to supposed scandal with Signal.
Do you believe that a mistake was made here, though, to have this conversation, to add a reporter, and to have it on an unsupported, classified group setting?
Caitlin, as I've just told you, I've just answered the question. I wasn't a part of it. And, I'm not going to speculate more than what the president's already talked about and those who've been involved have talked about. But we'd love to talk about the veterans.
Yeah, and I do have questions about the veterans. But given what we saw with the group chat and how this was used, you are a member of the cabinet. You obviously know these other members, several of them who were in there. Is this typical for the cabinet to have conversations over Signal? Is this something that you use?
Well, Caitlin, as soon as you undoubtedly do not want to talk about the VA, I have a question as VA Secretary. As Cabinet, I want to ask you, because I've been curious about this, because my job is to take care of veterans, and I would like to know why CNN is hostile to veterans. Defamation suit, taking offense at a veteran who was trying to help people. In fact, one of your employees actually said, we're going to nail him. I have a question for you, Caitlin. Is that employee still employed? Are you really concerned about veterans? So if we don't want to talk about veterans now, you want to talk about everything else, I'd like to hear from CNN as the Veteran Cabinet Secretary why CNN seems to have a problem with veterans.
Well, Mr. Secretary, respectfully, my question was about whether or not you as a member of the cabinet. And respectfully, I'm conducting the investigation.
Remember when I brought up the veteran who sued CNN and won $5 million? And I said, how come nobody's reporting on that? Here's Doug Collins throwing in her face, but we talked about it a month ago.
If you want to talk about a subject, what you want to do is talk about a subject that I've already answered. And if you want to continue this like this, that's fine. But there are VA employees who are working very hard. There are veterans who get their care from the VA and they get their benefits from the VA. And it does me no good to speculate. Why don't you answer mine? Is this person still employed who said they were going to nail one of my veterans, who you had to do a $5 million award from a jury because of defamation, and then you settled the case? Answer my question.
Respectfully, sir, I'm asking the questions here, and I have no involvement in what you're referencing there. But if you don't want to answer the question about whether or not.
So I bet that's the first a lot of people heard of the veteran that sued CNN for $5 million. But this desperation is not just to get Signal in the public spotlight to try to create an embarrassment. This whole business of this woman grilling or trying to grill Kash Patel and force him to turn it into a FBI investigation. She wants the FBI to take over the Signal thing. Caitlin Collins wants to keep it in the public eye. All the other news agencies. Why they want to do that? Because they got black hats in the FBI that would take everything and say, we can't talk about it. It's an open investigation. And they'll keep it an open investigation and not discuss it, not allow anybody to talk about it for years. For years. Let me play this for those that didn't hear it. And you'll hear Kash Patel say, I call the shots, not you.
Another day has passed.
Actually, it was the night before the hearing.
Now that another day has passed, do you believe that it's now time potentially for the FBI to open an investigation into this?
I'm not going to comment on that.
Because you're the director of the FBI, you don't believe it's appropriate to comment on that?
Because there's a process in place, there's an ongoing litigation, and the National Security Council is reviewing this matter. And I'm not going to discuss any open or closed investigation.
That ongoing investigation, literally, the lawsuit happened today or yesterday afternoon, and the idea that you don't have an opinion on this at this point is frustrating to me.
No, it's not. I'm not going to prejudge any matters, and the men and women of the FBI will call the balls and strikes.
Reclaiming my time,
not
sir.
you.
Sir, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to have...
Gentlewoman's recognized. You have
Thank
4
you.
seconds remaining.
No, I have more than
You have
that
2
because
seconds
Mr.
remaining.
Patel would not add...
Gentlewoman's time has expired.
Dr. Gabbard, were there any sources?
You got 4 seconds remaining. No, I don't. You got 2 seconds remaining. 1, 2. Time expired. Bap. But Kash Patel said, I call the balls and strikes, not you. They want They want to shove this thing into an FBI investigation. And at the same time, have the media shape what happened. And no one will be able to ask any questions. But like I just showed you, the FBI is not going to handle it. Doge is going to go in there. And what did they holler about Doge? We want transparency. So they are freaking out. Because the Houthis aren't the only ones who are using Signal. Can you say Judge Boasberg? Anyway, here you got Pam Bondi and Kash Patel. After that fiery Senate hearing, what did they do the next day? They locked up one of the top leaders of MS-13 on the East Coast. The whole East Coast, he's the third from the top. And we were just talking about MS-13 last night. We were talking about Seth and then Rich, right? And that MS and then 13 is the ones that took him out. And the next day, all the talk's been about Tren de Aragua. So we're doing a little look over there while we smack you right over here. And that's exactly what they did. What did Boasberg do? He made Tren de Aragua protected class. Oh, what are you going to do? Make MS-13 protected class? No. He can't politically get away with that. When have you ever heard about Tren de Aragua until the the apartment bills taking over? How long have we been hearing about MS-13? For 10 years almost. 9 years. When Trump took over. They're the ones that have been tied in with the Podesta emails and the expiration date of Seth. And, it was funny. I was talking about the other day, the police officers in New Jersey wearing Palestinian flags. Remember that? I said, something needs to be done about it. It's buried somewhere in my studio, but the next day, Trump put out a truth. Who's he making the attorney general or put in charge? Put in charge of the Department of Justice in New Jersey, Alina Habba. I wonder how long they're going to have Palestinian flags on their uniforms. So we're keeping up with stuff, and we got to recognize when we have a victory. Remember, I put this picture up. And that, no, I didn't say that, but I was joking about this person's odd appearance, right? Well, the White House made her, or whatever, the focus of one of their posts, the White House. Virginia, previously deported alien felon convicted of fentanyl trafficking, was arrested by ICE in Philadelphia after illegally re-entering the United States. She wept when taken into custody. There she is, poor little thing. Fentanyl dealer arrested. U.S. Immigration Enforcement. 36-year-old citizen of the Dominican Republic has a rap sheet that includes a fentanyl trafficking conviction. Fentanyl kills 250,000 Americans a year. That sounds kind of like depopulating the country, doesn't it? Learn and replacing. Whatever name is there, President of Mexico. No, we don't have a abuse problem. People don't use it in this country. Oh, well, we use it. We got Americans using it. They'll just all cork off and we'll. Theory? I don't know. Just asking a question. Learn more about this case and others in our newsroom. Report suspicious criminal activity. Yeah. I didn't censor a picture. I'm going to get a hold of that number and send them a little something. If I get the particulars out of the picture, I'll show it to you one night. But anyway, the White House also put this up. A little cartoon there. What did I call her? A delicate flower or something like that. Oh, yeah. Miss Mendersue, how you doing? Kimba, how you doing? Benjamin, nice to see you. Sissy's here, let's see. Phil's here. Lone Wolf. Cola. Nice to see you guys. Glad you could join us. Yeah, I had that video. I wonder if I still got it. Speaking of 400 pounders, you know, they caught a guy today that actually shot out windows, threw the fire bombs. Let me tell you something. He's gone. He's gone. He's going to do 20 years. That guy. But anyway, this is, remember I had somebody get mad at me. I lost subscribers because I said, only in America could you have a television show like My 600-Pound Life. People get that morbidly obese. And enough where you can have show after show, season after season of these people. Name another country that has that. And, you know, people got mad at me, one guy in particular. And, hey, I'm sorry. There comes a point when you leave the ho-hos and the yoo-hoos and all that kind of crap alone, you know. But anyway, you may have seen this already, but here is a ho-ho, yoo-hoo, early in the morning type guy. He probably has that vehicle he's riding. By the way, he rammed a Tesla. I'll show it to you again. He probably got a doctor to certify that as a handicap vehicle so he can run around, not have to get insurance, not have to get tags. He's handicapped. And anyway, I don't think he has yoo-hoos and ho-hos early in the morning because this is a type that stays in a fart sack till the crack of lunch. But, you know, you can, hey, it is what it is. He's going to be easy to identify. And he'll be doing some time in jail. And the rule needs to be, if it's somebody doing this crap, because, you know, no matter how light of a damage they put on there, it should be at least a year. Because I got one video of a woman, and they identified her, said she's a millionaire. I wonder if I got that in my studio. Let me see if this is it. Yeah, here she is. And she just goes up and takes a, looks like a box cutter or something, and just swipes at the door one time. And I can't tell if there's somebody in the vehicle she's berating or she's just babbling to herself a little bit when she gets out of her vehicle. But they identified her, said her name on, I think, out of Washington State. And they claim she's a millionaire. So she has nothing better to do with her time than this. No, it was just her key. It was just her key. But you see that snooty look she gave at the very end? And they'll just say, well, she just scratched it a little bit real quick. It should be a year minimum. A year minimum. Oh my gosh, I got a wild video to show y'all. This is a wild video. Hi, Dean, how you doing? Ha 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 ha. Yeah, run away. But she had that little socialite, snooty look when she got in her vehicle. But still, she should do 12 months. She's harassing somebody for their political views. Here's a video. Oh gosh, I can't play it because I didn't take and reduce the sound out of it. I'll play it tomorrow night. I got to take the sound out because I can't do it in studio. Daggone it. It all takes time. It all takes time. Got to leave the nonsense. Yeah, they have to leave the nonsense. So, how many of you all were with me election night? I tried to watch the election results and listen to NPR. And it was miserable. And I would break in and talk, and then I would get taken. My stream would quit. I had to go back, come back up again, listen to NPR, and it was like a 3-hour-long funeral dirge. It was terrible. The commentary was terrible. The reporting on the results was terrible. All it was a constant bashing about Trump and Trump supporters on NPR. Do you all remember that? Well, here we are dealing with NPR. They're going before Congress, and they're going to get out of here. Horrible and completely biased platforms. Networks should be defunded by Congress immediately. Republicans don't miss this opportunity to rid our country of this giant scam. Both being arms of the radical left Democrat Party. Just say no and make America great again. I concur. I got a video of the woman that's supposed to be in charge of that outfit. But they all sing the same tune. Where I got Rachel Madcow. Where is she? Where are you, Rachel? Let me make sure I got her in here. Oh, maybe I don't. Here you go. You know, all the videos, if I wanted to spend an hour today, a dozen different videos of these vandals, right? Of these vandals. Description of them. They're just people protesting. And we're trying to outlaw protesting.
They're small, too, which actually shows its own kind of courage. Little protests, little sort of sparky, spunky protests this weekend in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, and in general, Pam Bondi all started threatening Americans who don't support Elon Musk's car company. They started threatening people that they'd be hit with terrorism charges or that these, boycotting Tesla or protesting against Tesla was somehow specially illegal in a way that other forms of protests aren't, which is nonsense legally, but they issued the threats anyway.
She used the term threatening 3 times, talking about Pam Bondi and Trump. They're just sparky and spunky. Sparky and spunky. Everybody's doing it. What? Normal protesting like everybody else gets to do. This guy filmed himself. He's holding his phone, taking pictures while he does it.
By glances over at the car, and moments later they return and quickly start keying the passenger door with a phone in the other hand.
You can tell in the video too, like they're actively starting to record and they're recording the whole thing. You can easily tell this is a targeted, like there's intent there, and they, kind of a mockery of it, right? With all the recording.
Seconds later, the vandal runs off. The owners, who asked to remain anonymous, notice the damage about a half hour later and say since then they have felt unsettled and somewhat fearful.
Yeah, that's what terrorism does. Makes you feel unsafe, unsettled. That's its purpose. But it's just a sparky, spunky protest, right? According to Rachel Madcow. That's the kind of reporting that'll get your butt put in jail at some point. What's this one? Oh, I already put her up. Let me get that out of my studio. Goodbye to you. Yeah, that one video's got a song in there that says, "They ain't like us." And it's got the N-word in there about 3 times with some cuss words, but it's copyrighted. And I don't like playing stuff like that anyway. So I'd take the music out of it and I'll play it next time. But anyway, they want it. What did Trump put up? Trump put up this right here. Eggs, U.S. Look at that graph. And Trump brought that up at his press conferences. He said they used to bash me about eggs. He said, I'm in office 1 week. They're talking about eggs. Now they're not talking about it because the price dropped. And he's right. You don't hear squat about them talking about eggs anymore. So now they're on to the signal crap. But I got a video somebody put up. Where is that? Him and his daughter. Here they are. Went into Costco. Here they are. Making eggs great again. Now, is Rachel Madcow and all them going to report on stuff like this? No.
you vote Trump.
That's why you vote Trump, baby. They were 30.
It was $30, went down to $9.99 for 30 eggs. Well, they're not going to report on it, but people on TikTok are. That's why Trump wants to keep TikTok up. Turnabout's fair play. Oh my gosh. I said that was a guy. It was apparently the last one key in a car was, I think it was a girl. I don't, or a woman or something like that. Speaking of that confusion, here's a state senator out of Pennsylvania. Wait a minute. Where are you at? Here she is. Here she is. Lindsey Williams. She says she can hang with any man in sports. It's strong, blah, blah, blah.
Female bodies are just as strong, as fast and capable as male bodies. For what reason, other than political gain, a completely made-up issue. There are 8 million high school athletes across the country, and maybe 160 of them are trans. This is the 5th time we are voting on this bill that targets less than 0.002% of high school athletes. I was a 3-sport athlete in high school. Participating in sports gave me the confidence, time management skills, and ability to work collaboratively that led me to run for office. Absolutely nothing about having a trans teammate or competitor would have taken those things away from me.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because somebody posted that video and then they also posted a blast from the past. Here it is, Elon Musk. No, that's where I made a comment on something. I'll get to that in a minute. Wait a minute, where's that blast from the past? Holy cow. See if I can find it. About Elon, you know how Elon feels about pronouns and trannyism and all that stuff. He said whoever does that to a child needs to go to prison for life. And I am unanimous. As that lady used to say, are you being served? I am unanimous with that thought. Anyway, how many of you all remember that show? Are you being served? There it is. Elon Musk. My pronouns are prosecute. Ouchie, right? Remember that? Nina Turner put up, pronouns aren't a joke. And somebody said, knock, knock. Candy answered, who's they, there, there? Who's there, there? So this is a 90-10 issue that they keep burying themselves on. So they're trying to distract with the signal. I saw where Diane said that the lady with NPR is on the board of Signal. I wouldn't doubt that a bit. I got a video of her right here. Something very important to say because she is an important person that works for the government and is in charge of the terribly boring, miserable National Public Radio. But if you can figure out what she's trying to say, because I can't.
But one of the most significant differences, critical for comedians who write these articles, aren't actually focused on finding the truth. They're working for something that's a little bit more attainable, which is the best of what we can know right now. And after 7 years there, I actually believe that they're onto something. That for our most tricky disagreements, seeking the truth and seeking to convince others of the truth isn't necessarily the best place to start. In fact, I think our reverence for the truth might have become a bit of a distraction that is preventing us from finding consensus and getting important things done.
So the truth's not that important. I think that's what she's saying. Our reverence for the truth might be part of the problem or why we can't build consensus. And that's when she was talking about her years at WikiLeaks. Wikipedia. Sorry about that. Wikipedia. So she's been dealing with quite a bit. Very involved, right? Here's this, one of these, I believe, sponsored, backed, or assisted in some way, I could be wrong, by USAID or some other NGO. It's called Reason TV. Citizens of a Republic should, so they're saying, why did the Atlantic find out about a war before Congress did? We shouldn't have to wait for somebody to fat finger their phone. Whipping up vitriol. I put in the comment there. Nobody cares. Lefty hissy fit over nothing. Take a toke with Hunter and go kick a Tesla with clown face. But here's how they go. Ironic, they're calling that this has been fairly normal U.S. response. Who the hell knows what they're saying? Trump literally posted he was playing. I gave those two a thumbs up. But these lefties are trying to keep this signal stuff going. And one thing they put out there that is constant, they say Pete Hegseth is a DUI DEI hire. DUI DEI hire. So if you see stuff like that up, a funny little post that doesn't threaten or insult anybody, go take a toke with Hunter and kick a Tesla. Have a great life. If that's what's got you going. Let's see what else Mr. T had to say today. Whatever happened given to our, quote, government to Radical Left Politico magazine, or whatever you guys would call it, owned by wealthy guys. This money should be taken back by Doge, ASAP. Also, is Stacey Abrams going to give back the $2 billion they funneled into her, quote, environmental fund, unquote, just prior to my assuming office? She went from $100 of donations to $2 billion in just one day. Not bad. Get back the money. Remember what Mr. T said. We'll have to wait for the corruption. Don't worry, it will come. And now we're seeing it in real time. 25% tariffs, oh my God, on vehicles. April 2nd is going to be Independence Day. Trump said if the European Union works with Canada in order to do economic harm to the USA, large-scale tariffs, far larger than currently planned, will be placed on them both in order to protect the best friend that each of those two countries ever had, namely the United States. I got a clip of this prime minister character talking about how he's going to resist. But I want to thank Mike and Bev for going by buy me a coffee and helping sponsor tonight's program. I do appreciate it. I was worried. I went three broadcasts and I had an empty pot. So that's never encouraging. So anybody who wants to help out the channel, I have a link in the description, as this is a totally viewer-supported channel. This is not monetized. So anyway, thanks, Mike and Bev. I appreciate it. And why not, since right next to my coffee video, here's another beauty queen making her sparky, spunky little protest. It's just a little mark on the corner of the door, Your Honor. It's not terrorism. That's why I'm saying minimum of a year. Minimum of a year. Anyway, what was I talking about? I was talking about, this character from Canada. Are they going to lower their tariffs? Their 250% tariffs? You know, to make things fair? Work with President Trump or what?
And our response to these latest tariffs is to fight, is to protect, and to build. We will fight actions of our own that will have maximum impact in the United States and minimum impacts here in Canada. We will protect our workers and our industries during this difficult period. But above all, we will build a new Canadian economy. We will build Canada strong. Coming to terms with this sobering reality is the first step to taking necessary actions to defend our nation. But it's only the first step. Last night, the President of the United States reached out to schedule a call. I appreciate this opportunity to discuss how we can protect our workers and build our economies. I will make clear to the President that those interests are best served by cooperation and mutual respect, including of our sovereignty. Let's be clear. We're all on the same page. We won't back down. We will respond forcefully. Nothing is off the table to defend our workers and
Yeah, so we'll see if you end up like Scheinbaum Steenberg or what's going to happen to you. I think you're going to fold like a cheap suit. That's what I think. Yeah, strong ties to China, yeah. He is a disaster waiting to happen. That's the truth. So anyway, not only are tariffs an issue, I showed you that video of Marjorie Taylor Greene cussing out that, I guess it was BBC reporter or Daily Mail or something like that. Because we don't want our country being destroyed by illegal immigration. This is a video of a young man, I believe in the Netherlands. He stopped a person and is waiting for the police. This person took a blade and injured, I don't know if anybody lost their life. But let me tell you something. To barehanded take down somebody who has a blade is a heroic thing. So here he is waiting for the police to show up, and he's got this masked freak restrained in the Netherlands. Way to go, young man. people walking by, they didn't even know what happened. Didn't he? He already got 5 people. So now you saw how he was on the guy's back. I guess if he was overloaded with crack, or whatever that guy was taking, Floyd, he may still get in trouble. I don't know what the laws are in the Netherlands. Or what are you supposed to do? Just stand there and let somebody keep doing that kind of thing? Anyway, Liberation Day in America is coming soon. For years, we've been ripped off by virtually every country in the world, both friend and foe. But those days are over. America first. This was today. He's mentioned it just about every day. Here. I meant to talk about this last night, but I ran out of time. Lindsey Graham. Remember, how many times have you all heard me say, he's there when you need him? Trump said that about Lindsey Graham a couple of years ago when people were booing him. So now, this is about Boasberg. I'll get to Lindsey Graham in a minute. Donald Trump, how disgraceful is it that Judge James Boasberg has just been given a 4th Trump case, something which is statistically impossible. There's no way for a Republican, especially a Trump Republican, to win before him. He is highly conflicted. Not only is he in his hatred of me, massive Trump derangement syndrome, but also because of disqualifying family conflicts. Fox News. And he was saying, well, it's got to go before the Supreme Court. Both sides have good arguments. I'm wondering if Jonathan Turley's not just baiting them, because he's a smart guy. He didn't mention these conflicts at all. But anyway, Boasberg, who is the chief judge of the U.S. District Court, seems to be grabbing the Trump cases all to himself, even though it is not supposed to happen that way. Is there still such a thing as the wheel, where the judges are chosen fairly and at random? The good news is that it probably doesn't matter, because it is virtually impossible for me to get an honest ruling in D.C. Our nation's courts are broken, with New York and D.C. being the most preeminent of all in their corruption and radicalism. There must be an immediate investigation of this rigged system before it's too late. So to that senator who was giving trying to give Kash Patel a hard way to go. This is where your investigation is going to be happening, lady. About the judiciary. And we've been talking about that for a long time. It needs an enema. And they're about to get one. Rudy Giuliani was on a talk show. And then he posted, if I've got it in here, he posted how the judiciary has just collapsed. It's the darkest of times in these last 4 years. Just what Newt Gingrich said at the beginning. It's hard to fathom that we have activist judges, elected officials, teachers, healthcare, and district attorneys who threw away common sense and the Constitution. All these positions are positions of trust. How many times have you all heard me say that? That they should never hold a position of public trust again. Been saying that for years. And the trust has been shattered. It most certainly has. But people still got a little sense of humor. Babylon Bee put this up. Political neutrality of PBS questioned after new footage of Elmo keying a truck, Cybertruck. And you got Elon Musk putting a laughy face down below. Ha ha, that daggone Elmo. somebody got this at a Tesla charging. I mean, there was a row of like 20 of these charging stations. And somebody went, and you know, who's paying for this crap? You're not going to get 20 printouts of Elon Musk like that for nothing. It's coordinated. It's financed by somebody. We'll find out who it is. It's going to be fun watching it. Here we got Andy Ogles. I don't know who that is, but it's a representative, I believe, in the House. We, the people, have had enough of the America-hating activist judges. Judge Chuang wants U.S. aid. I showed his picture last night. Judge Chuang wants U.S. aid to make more trans comic books. Impeach them all. There's another one. I forget what state she's from. But she wasn't born in America either. I think she's from Venezuela. What the hell is going on with these foreign-born federal judges? 300 and what? 30 million Americans and 700 or 800 judges, and 30% of them are born in another country? Dual loyalties? Well, she is an open member of the alphabet community. That should have disqualified her right there. Anybody talking about their bedroom preferences, advocating, being an activist for hedonism, no, you don't get a position of public trust, much less you're born in Mongolia or wherever you're born at. You come here and end up on a federal bench. There's something crooked going on. Yes, they need to be impeached. They need to be removed for bad behavior. And there needs to be codified in the rules. No dual citizens. Okay? Because that's divided loyalty. Divided loyalty. Did you hear that in the UK they banned samurai swords? Babylon B put this out. British Prime Minister for pulling dangerous sword from stone. This is... I've just got two things about what's going on in Ukraine. Two things. Whoa. I don't know if anybody who might be able to read this stuff can get a screenshot of it if you want. I can't read it. It's all Greek to me. But the translation is that the U.S.-Ukraine and changes to it are possible only with the permission of the Americans, said Verkhovna Rada Deputy Zele, I can't say his name, who familiarized himself with the document. The draft agreement covers all minerals, including oil and gas, and does not contain security guarantees for Ukraine. I saw the video of this, but it is not translated. Zelensky talking to a panel on I guess Ukrainian television. What did he say? He said, Putin will die soon and everything will end. It's a fact. That's the quote they attributed to Zelensky. We know that the French want to go over there and send troops. British wants to send troops. missiles, and you got Zelensky talking this kind of smack. What kind of road are we on? Here's that guy that's going to do 20 years. Right here. Paul Kim. I don't know, he looks Irish too. Is charged with 15 counts for firebombing and firing at a Tesla dealership in Las Vegas. He's a pro-Palestinian communist. So yeah, they showed videos of him. So yeah, don't stereotype people, but if you see somebody with a weird little hat, bespeckled, bearded, at least he's not wearing a mask. I couldn't copy this video. And it's blurred out so you can't really see her. See her over there in the corner, in the right-hand corner? A crazy woman runs necky through Dallas DFW Airport. She's screaming and yelling and throwing things and approaching people saying F you, just as naked as could be. I mean, not a stitch. And for a while. So she's hopped up on something. Did you all see this clip? You know, these people are being driven mad by misinformation. They can't make sense of the world, right? So they lash out. They repeat things that are patently ridiculous because they've been presented to them as fact by people who have been put on the airwaves as trustworthy. Joy Reid recently claimed that that Canadians burnt the White House during the War of 1812 and won. Joy, you're as ignorant as you are ugly. The British burnt the White House down, you liberal moron. And since Britain attacked us and we're still here, I'd say we won the war. You clueless twit. Did you all see this clip of her? Remember, she said they came looking for her out of the blue. She was in Portland somewhere, wasn't she? She was in some liberal state going to college on a grant. And a news organization found her. And she's been making millions of dollars being an empty-headed provocateur. Somebody who spread lies. Just like the thing you're looking at right there, Don Lemon. I call him Stinkfinger. Stinkfinger Lemon. Because of what he did to that guy. Remember that? Was digging down his pants and then rubbed his finger under the guy's nose? Boy, if that had been me, he'd been picking up his teeth with a broken arm. But anyway, here she is giving her wisdom. And Don Lemon, look at his behaviors. No critical thinking. Knowing that it is twisted history, a lie, in other words.
First of all, you can't make Canada the 51st state without going to war with them. And let me explain how that happened, how that worked out the last time we tried to go to war with Canada. They burned the White House to the ground in 1814 and won the war. Canada beat us in the War of 1812. They probably liked their chances against us. We're not going to beat them in a war because we have never been able to do that. You'd have to occupy a country that is equivalent of the size of the United States in which the top 2/3 of it is uninhabited, frozen forest land that touches the Arctic. You know how that worked out when the Nazis tried that with Russia, which is the equivalent of Canada on that part of the world? We gonna lose. We don't have enough troops to occupy. They are a country of 39 million people who have about as many guns per capita as we do.
She's out of her damn mind. She's comparing Canada to Russia, saying that they have as many guns as we do. She's totally lost on history, totally lost on the reality of present circumstances. And you see Don Lemon sitting there making his goofy little faces and laughing. They have no idea what the hell they're talking about. Did you see this? I want to see what's going to happen with this. Las Vegas gets 10 new Cybertrucks, but police aren't willing to drive them. Vandalize this, scumbags. Las Vegas police show off bad, Cybertrucks. They're not going to drive them? Well, you know how it is in California, being a cop. The criminal's always right. Not the customer, the criminal. Let's see how many lawsuits fly about this. IRS nears deal with ICE to share addresses of suspected undocumented immigrants. The move toward information sharing comes as President Donald Trump pushes his administration to use every resource to conduct what he hopes will be the largest mass deportation of immigrants in U.S. history. I haven't heard a lawsuit yet, but the IRS is going to share information. I showed you that girl that got her student visa pulled. Well, this came up on my news feed right here about an hour before I went live. Federal judge issues temporary restraining order stopping federal agents from detaining Columbia University student. They can't even detain her. Federal judge Tuesday. What's today? Stop federal agents from detaining 21-year-old Yoon So Chung. She was involved in violent, disruptive Palestinian protests, but they can't even detain her. Let me see that. What is this? Somerville, federal agent. Oh, here's another one. Federal agents detain Tufts University PhD student. Let's see if she gets let out by some whack job judge. Romesa Öztürk. Federal agents have detained a Turkish student, Romesa Öztürk. She has been involved in anti-Israel activism, namely riots and burning stuff and menacing other students after previously having graduated from where? Columbia University. It looks like she's about to get deported under the new Trump administration policy. Well, let's see if a whack job judge stops that. I forgot to mention that about the other one. Intimidating other students. Here's a little break. Carly Bonnie put this up. You all heard of Carly Bonnie?
What?
On another level. She's sitting in Walmart parking lot with a 3,000 her face. I'm like, baby, are you okay? Are you hungry, sweetie? I can go in Walmart and get you something to eat. I can go through self-checkout and make it a lot faster. I love you, baby.
What?
And on another level. She's sitting in Walmart parking lot with a 3,000-pound moose 2 inches away from her face. I'm like, baby, are you okay? Are you hungry, sweetie? I can go in Walmart and get you something to eat. Make it a lot faster. I love you, baby.
I didn't know that was on a loop, but I just let it play twice anyway. I didn't know it was on a loop. But anyway. Ha ha! Here is something that is going to come to the fore right here. Remember, billions of dollars to Gavin Newsom for controlling fires, and then we had a whole community, a whole city burned to that. Billions of dollars given for a high-speed rail that's disappeared. Nobody can account for it. And we've got billions was spent for the homeless. And here's this lady doing this report.
I'm in downtown LA, Skid Row, and I want to point out a few things that's gone on here in the past few years. In 2023, Gavin Newsom set aside $750 million to build tiny homes for people just like this that are surrounding by me. Somehow that money's gone. In 2019, they set aside $24 billion to go towards the homeless. Somehow that money's gone. It's unaccounted for. I want to talk about a few politicians from here. One is Nancy Pelosi. She's been serving these people since 2007. Her net worth is over $120 million. Another person here, Maxine Waters, she's been serving the people here in California since 1990. Her net worth is over $10 million. And Gavin Newsom, who knows what his net worth is, but we know he is building a $9 million home in San Francisco, California. Their leaders, the leaders of California, they failed these people here in Los Angeles and in California. California has actually been one of the highest states in America that people have fled from. Over 66 million people have left California in the last few years, and yet Gavin Newsom, he's out there holding a podcast when he should be working on his state. He might be making a run for it in 2028, and I hope people remember this that's behind me.
Yeah, millions of dollars. You know, I don't know if people are immune to it or what. They're just numb or stupid, but it doesn't faze them. What's this? Oh my gosh. Iranian activist sentenced to 178 lashes and 18 months in prison after she was arrested for not having a hijab. 178 lashes is a lot of lashes. I wouldn't want one flipping lash. But I'm just putting that up there for the people in Texas when they go to cogitate about Sharia law compound they want to put in. Okay? Just keep that in mind. Do you want that in your neighborhood? Near you? Transgender student arrested after assaulting Turning Point USA reps with a kryptonite bite clock. Yes, it's violence at the University of Texas. Yeah, it's like a 5-second, how many seconds is it? 7-second clip. And this person just takes and swings it. They charge her, him, or she, him, shim, charged with assault with a deadly weapon, felony assault on an officer, and also heard resisting arrest. So I don't know. People are losing their damn mind. Well, they've already lost them. Did you see this little kid? Got through the fence at the White House. Child breaches the White House fence. Secret Service officer scoops up child and returns him to his parents without incident. Little kid. I guess he squeezed through the bars or skinnied underneath the fence. Something like that, but, you know, it was cute. What is this one? Dan Bongino put this out yesterday, folks. 5:30 a.m. last edited. This was just prior to the big bust. Today is March 26th, and I didn't swear in to waste your time and money. If you're committing crimes against children, you should probably expect a knock on your door soon. And it's not for a delivery. It's a bad day to be a bad guy. FBI registered S3X offender sentenced to 30 years in federal prison for exploitation crime against South Florida minor. Well, remember, Ron DeSantis also passed where they can get the ultimate sentence, folks, and you guys know what I'm talking about. The ultimate. I think I read this last night. Well, I had my studio last night where Pete Eggs had said about those war plans. Anyway, that's a signal thing. We're going to see how much they want to keep whipping that up. But it's because they want to kick it over to the FBI. There's something else I pulled up that I didn't show you all last night. Remember I showed the green light, 17 posts containing green. I showed you all Trump at the Ultimate Fighter competition with the green light. Well, I pulled this post up too. And it doesn't say anything, but it's got a look at the date. July 20th, 2020. Does this list look familiar? You see Tom Hanks on there, Steven Tyler, John Cusack, Barack Obama, Ben Affleck, Lisa Summers. So if you all want to check this stuff out, Courtney Love, David Koch, Demi Moore, Oprah Winfrey. All you got to do is put the word green in, and you'll see 17 posts. And each one of them, it shows you something. You go, yeah, I forgot about that. Jim Carrey, Sandy Berger, Robert Downey Jr., John Cusack, and that's all it is. It's no comment, no nothing, just a list of a lot of big names. Quentin Tarantino. Anyway, I thought I'd pull that up because I did have time and it wasn't germane to the signal issue. But the green light, waiting for the green light. This is another thing. Trump said a witch hunt. He said it's a witch hunt. He hasn't used that term in a long time. So I decided to key it in. I got this post from April 9th, 2018. A comment from the Blue Chain. POTUS said they broke in. They broke in during the fire. Distraction. I think witch hunt only came up like 2 times. This was one of them. And it doesn't even say witch hunt. But it popped up. And I said, they broke in during the fire. Distraction. POTUS said they broke in. And I said, what were they talking about when they spied on him? That was back in the end of 2016. When Admiral Rogers came and talked to Trump and he moved his whole operation overnight to Bedminster. I said, was there a fire? I couldn't remember. So I goggled it. Don't you know I had to go through a couple of pages of fire at Trump Tower 2025. It was about the Tesla that blew up in front of Trump Towers in Florida. So I was on the news feed of Goggle. Well, I go a couple of pages, April 8th, 2018. Trump Tower apartment, site of fatal blaze. Had no sprinklers, Voice of America. Before fatal Trump Tower fire, Trump once fought measure requiring sprinklers. Trump, I forgot all about this. Trump Tower smoke sensors alerted firefighters. Trump brags that his tower withstood a fire, but has been silent about the man who died. The fire was a distraction so they could break in. They were looking for something. Now, they cause the news feed about the Trump fire in 2018 to get buried in Goggle. A casual person looking would be confusing the one in 2025, which is you're starting to see dots to be connected. A Tesla blowing up in front of Trump Tower in 2025. Some MK Ultra former military guy. But they were doing an operation in 2018 on Trump Tower in New York to get in there and find something. So, I just, when Trump brought up the word witch hunt, I decided to look. And that's what I came up with. So, it's just refreshing my mind on a lot of crazy stuff that's been going on. And I'm sure there's a method and a meaning to this madness. Yeah, during the Michael Cohen era, he was in the news. It was 2018. Trump was president. It wasn't when they spied on him in his president-elect status. It was when he was already in office. Yeah, that's what I just put on the screen television shows. 2018, a fire at Trump Tower in New York. Yep, it was a distraction, yeah. But what were they looking for? They broke in. They did break in. Trump said they broke in. The next day, April 9th is what this post says. April 9th. The news articles I just showed you were April 8th. Trump said they broke in. They broke in during the fire. They used the fire for a distraction to go in there and find something. So, anyway, I'd forgotten all about that. I confused it with the spying in 2016. Man, these people are something else. But anyway, folks, I'll leave you with this little video here. Trump believes in a higher power, and he thinks God spared him for a reason, right? Japan asked for a break on the 25% tariffs. Trump's got a soft spot for Japan because of Shinzo Abe, a good friend of his, who didn't survive an assassination attempt. Right, folks? So, let's see what happens tomorrow. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. And I want to thank you all for spending your precious time with me once again. Thank you, Mike and Bev, for sponsoring tonight's program. I have a Buy Me a Coffee link in the channel. I appreciate it. So you all have a great night. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
That's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something...
Donald, you must move your head.
Shinzo, you died, and I'd never got the chance to say goodbye.
Donald, I don't say goodbye. You need to remember your training. Move your head. I cannot explain. I must go.
Wait, Shinzo, if I never see you again, then see you later, Space Cowboy.
But you will see me again, because there is one last thing that I must do.
Months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take
Thank you, Shinzo.
I'll guard the roads and I'll guard the sky.